like to I would like to give you an overview on what is the question of build or buy, and yeah, why is this whole thing outdated? So, and I will try to give you an overview of the strategic role of the IT in the whole digital transformation of publishers. And by doing so, I think Ringier as a company is a very, very good example. And I will lead you through this whole journey and jump into specifics of yeah, IT and technology related questions. So yeah, I hope this will be interesting. So let's start and get into it. First of all, who I am. You probably saw my bio on the on the whole presentation of the session, and so to give you a little bit of background of myself, I'm in IT now for more than almost 30 years. Started early with coding, programming, and then went into more and more into business. The business side of IT projects and so on. And I had the chance, and so I'm very glad that I'm at least virtually back in India. I had the chance to work in India for 4 years and start the first transformation of publishers, help a little bit at Times of India, Hindustan Times, and several others. To change a little bit technology and processes. So really it was a very, very interesting time for me. And so yeah, basically after India, I worked several years for Axel Springer in Germany, and then since 2010 I'm at Ringier and in Switzerland. First of all, heading Eastern European IT and operations, and now in Switzerland. To give you a little bit of a background of what Ringier is, because Switzerland is a small country, and we only have 8 million people. And so this is really yeah, nothing compared to India. And but Switzerland, always, because it's so small, a lot of companies are very international, and we go worldwide. So who are we? We as Ringier have the core is publishing, the core is media and journalism. So independence, freedom of expression, and the pioneering spirit is at the core of Ringier. And this pioneering spirit, you'll see in my presentation, will lead us to a lot of change, a lot of possibilities, and a lot of options. We are 188 years old, still family owned, so we are not stock market noted. We are working in 18 countries and have 6,800 people working in our company. And this, with all our media and also with marketplaces, we reach 200 million audience, which you always have to compare this. It's Europe, it's not India or any other large country. So we have 110 subsidiaries, and that shows you already that on the technology scale, we do have challenges, because we are not able to do this and work as one single solution over all these subsidiaries, over all these companies. So you have to be flexible. You have to look at where are these companies situated, what are they doing, what are their main goals, and therefore also scale your technology on that side. Meanwhile, we have almost 70% digital share. So there was a huge transformation. I'll show you in a second. in this company, so that we are now at this level. And this not only worked because we could transform the publishing, but also we went into other pillars like marketplaces, jobs, real estate, classifieds, and so on. So we broadened our portfolio. And what exactly are we doing? And there are maybe one or two brands you know because they are internationally known, like Forbes or Geo or Elle. So this is our whole media publications that you see only here. This is only Europe. I didn't put the Swiss on there. Our challenge is that we have so many newsrooms, we have so many different media outlets that we have to, on the technology side, we have to be scalable, flexible, and sometimes you start something new, sometimes you close something down. So this is something you really have to look at, and that's at our core of technology and our architecture. The same is valid for our marketplaces. So for jobs, for real estate, and some of them are little startups, some of them are integrated into media companies. So we do publishing also for the real estate backgrounds and work together with banks. All this is joined together. So you see, it is kind of a complex environment, but at the end of the day, every little media outlet, every little company here you see, or brand you see, is working tries to work as efficient as possible. So one of our challenge is to not have like 110 different solutions, yeah, but scale this to an environment where all these companies can work efficiently, but we can overall use a lot of synergies together. So how are we doing this? And you can see how we changed, and this is like the two sides of the map. On the left side, this is the first media or the place where Ringier started with the first publication, which was the Swiss magazine. And obviously we owned and still own one printing plant. So we still are at the core a print house. But on the other side, meanwhile, we have TV, we have radio, we have all kinds of video formats, including all our apps and news sites we offer. So this whole switch from only print related to multimedia, to state-of-the-art, what is expected now, yeah, was a very long journey. As you saw, 188 years old, so left. This is at that time, right? This is what we started 2 years ago with the largest news outlet here in Switzerland, which is called Blick. It's a tabloid paper where we actually started Blick TV, our own TV news TV station, which is catering with short video forms or even live content, breaking news. So we had to really shift this. And at the core of all this is technology, and we had to adapt. On the other side, and you look down there, there's printing, and I put one example up. This is actually a couple of years ago, where we had our yearly review of the numbers and the press conference. And we, as the employees attending there, got our virtual glasses there, and our results, the press conference, the results, and the whole immersive video was created to show what we are capable of doing. And after that, we sold several of these campaigns to the ad market, to ad customers, advertising customers. So what we are trying to do is we try to use technology, try it out for ourselves, and then try to sell it to our different environments, different customers, ad customers, and also subscription users. So I'm not going step by step, don't worry. But what I want to show you here is that we started in 2007 with a little radio station. Then we went into Vietnam, and as you can see, looking to the right, the number of acquisitions and changes, they rose. So left is still very print or classified related. Right, we are going into new markets. We went into Africa. We have a lot of synergies in the media in Eastern Europe, and brought a lot of companies together. So, and with every time we bought a company or brought the company in our portfolio, we needed to actually look at what is the technology behind it. Can we use something what they are already had, or do we have something already which they can use? So that forced us to really think every time, every day, of how to adjust, how to change, because we all know, and that's all over the world, the same thing. Print and print publications are going down, subscriptions are going down only on print paper, and you need different and other markets to make the money. And therefore we actually went into different environments, and all the time we sat and said, okay, what's the technology stack behind it, and what skills do we need, and how do we actually shift this company to do the things which are now in 2022 actually needed. So this whole thing stops because, as you all know, the last 2 years we were not really active in a lot of acquisitions or other things. So, and if you look at this, the company invested, or actually the family, because it's still family owned, invested 250 crores Swiss francs and multiply this by roughly 80, and you know what the amount of money is. It was invested into the change of the company. And now the question is, how do we manage all this? And because we went internationally from Switzerland, first of all in Europe, and then to Africa, also in Vietnam. So we have different tech hubs. We now have a tech hub in Cape Town. We have a tech hub in Krakow, which is Poland, and our headquarters in Switzerland. So what we are doing is we try to leverage the knowledge of these different teams. So Krakow is Poland is very strong in CMS, in web app development. Cape Town is very strong in cloud services, AWS, and marketplace ecosystem. And we at the headquarters, we are very strong at looking at synergies, at process optimizations, at optimizing processes, because the labor costs are so high, especially in Switzerland or in Europe, so that we are very, very skilled in doing this. So, and therefore we actually work together and try to use the best in what we have and the best expertise we have. And that comes with an ecosystem thinking. So you see, there's media, there's marketplaces and technologies at the center. It's not at the corner, it's not in the garage somewhere hidden. It is right in the center. And the center, it is in the center because it's so important. And because we realized that we cannot just create ideas and just throw them over to some developers, tech guys, and they do something and come back with a solution. It doesn't work that way anymore. And also, technology needs to be flexible. And this all symbolizes it a little bit, yeah, because we have to lean into the media part and look what's needed there. On the other side, maybe some things like platform business, all the cloud things, they were pushed a lot from marketplaces. So one of our core beliefs is that we need to have sufficient people in the technology business, which are also understanding the business side. It is very important, and I'm the best example because I worked almost in all of the org chart boxes, yeah, in my career so far in the media houses. So I do have a broad knowledge of what is advertising, what is subscription management, what's the underlying technology. So digging a little bit deeper into the technology part. I used more or less the same time frame. 2007, we started with, just as everyone had this monolithic one thing, big systems which solves you everything. So we implemented SAP Media for advertising and sales and distribution. We had an additional large SAP Finance instance. We had 2 company-owned data centers with a diesel on top and everything. And on the production side, we started with an Ecenic CMS system, which all large publishers at that time were using. So I was coming from Axel Springer in Germany, so we were using the same thing there. And for the big newsrooms, we had this. And then we had a print production system, which was one single one for all the publications. So it worked at that time because we only were looking at print and print production. And we had enough people to do certain work 2 times, 3 times. And if it's not that fast, no big deal, because you don't need new things next day. Yeah, you can work on projects for months and try to deliver something. So, and then the company, as you saw, had to change. Because we also, okay, this print business is going down, and also we need to invest in new technologies. And how are we doing this? Big question mark. Nobody of us really knew what was the right way. But one thing we knew is we had to invest and challenge our workforce. We had to think, okay, well, if we want to create new products, we have to learn first how things are going. So what we did in 2010, we were the first ones in Switzerland to implement G Suite, what is now called G Suite, Google, At that time, it was Gmail and a little bit of calendar. And we said, okay, there is no Outlook anymore. There is no client. You work in the browser. And every day, maybe the button is somewhere else. And it's on the left side or it's on the right side. And you have to work with this, because you have to go into the mind shift of getting flexible. This was a really, really tough job, as you can imagine, because nobody was really used, except for maybe the IT department. Yeah, but nobody in the business was really used to have this flexibility and work on this. So, but this was actually the first step in our company to say, okay, we need to skill up. We need to train people and get a different mindset on this. So, then cloud first strategy. So in 2017, we said, okay, every new system needs to be cloud first, needs to be cloud ready at least. And we had to focus also on service, software as a service solutions. And then you see now, and I'm not going through all this, we now come up to an ecosystem where we have a lot of microservices, a lot of different systems. Even our print production is not only one system, it is several systems, because we have to be flexible on the production side. Yeah, we have then a communication bus implemented, so all our systems can work easily together. So this is the real shift we had to do. So flexibility is a core necessity, and for us to shift to cloud is also shifting workforce, because we shifted people to different aspects of the work. We had to skill them up, and we used a lot of greenfield approaches to give a chance to accelerate. And yes, of course, small proof of concepts projects show the early results, and we drive our projects more or less in 3-month periods, a maximum of 12 months. If a project runs over 12 months, it's too long. Yeah, because you cannot manage. The world changes so fast, yeah, that you have to adapt your project. So we are trying to do this, yeah, and divide these projects. And we want this ecosystem thinking. So build things to scale with microservices, and we just work together with the best, yeah, and use the technology as we need it. And we created the agile waterfall, because it is not build or buy, but it's always a mix. Yeah, so all this works together. Yeah, and we have to strengthen the project and business know-how, because that was one of the big tasks we had to do. We brought the IT, we brought several IT people, set them next to the business, or let them work in the on the business side to actually know what's important. And so we had the chance to be even more agile, because you know what is needed at the market. And we shifted the budgets from infrastructure to what I call more business-related topics, projects. So since we had a lot of chances to use the infrastructure as a service, cloud services, software as a service, we spent less. We had to have less people in just doing infrastructure, and you not using this money just only for cost cutting, but taking some of the money, and hopefully a big chunk of it, and investing it into the skills to be more agile and to know what's the business side of it. So now we are really partnering. And we had to understand also from the technology side, the newsroom, and that's not only a print production, but it's a multimedia production, and how data is important. So we data analytics, the whole part of how to steer the newsroom needed to be invented, and this needs to be agile. You cannot wait for the numbers like half a year or something like this. And what we found out is that the business side of the company doesn't understand Scrum. they still want to have budgets. They still want to have a result. And so you have to, that's why I say it's an agile waterfall. You have to go with milestones and you have to work, and we are working on Scrum with 2-week sprints and so on, but you have to sell it differently. And this is something we also learned. And we got rid of org charts for development and implementation. It's not the IT or it's not the product owner. It's a team. Yeah. So we are, and this is giving you fast pace in doing this. So cross-functional teams, invest in cross-functional teams because this will speed you up. And just to give you an idea is how we work on the project management framework for the web and development. The idea is there, and you see on the left side, we have already at the idea phase, we have editorial, commercial, marketing, we have digital operations together. Then the IT or digital innovation and platforms team comes in. Then we have a joint meeting on saying, okay, what's the planning? And then we do the implementation and the handover. So it's not a single step, yeah. It is only on one department. So it is really cross-functional what we are doing. And so that gives you the ideas, that gives you the speed, this gives you the understanding. And this is an example of an actual project which is running at the moment at our largest news media outlet. We want to get a new product out. It's a rather huge project. And what we are doing is we have a steering committee, and you can see this. Every aspect, we have the CEO of publishing, we have an editor-in-chief, we have commercial, we have newsroom, we have myself, and the chief architect in the steering. And the project lead, for example, is one of my people. And she is working 50% for this news media company, 50% for my department. So there is a whole understanding that we work together. And you can see all these other parts. This is really core that we get the speed and get the right people in these projects. The cloud first helped us to do a lot of shifts, and we did upskilling, certifications, multi-cloud skills, and we said, okay, every new system needs to be cloud native or at least able to run. But of course, yes, we do have some dedicated applications. We did some lift and shift, and we still have a data center where a couple of legacy systems are still running. But this all over the last 10 years, I would say, brought us to this agile thinking and thinking of micro systems instead of a huge single solution, because otherwise we lose speed. So how to scrum yourself? We learned that we have to limit the operational tasks and shift them to dedicated teams so that these other people can free up time to think how we are faster. And we have to explain, and that's something we started in 2010 already with implementing the first Gmail, is we have to explain that it's uncertain what's coming. Yeah, but we'll do it together. We are in one boat and we are steering this together. And one of the key things was to split these big systems into very small environments, so you can change this a lot, which adds complexity because they all have to communicate somehow together. But this is complexity you can handle a lot better than you have if you have a big monolithic system. And we stopped thinking in 5 years or even 3 years. Sometimes it's just a year we look ahead. So this is something we are really focusing on. And therefore, I would say, in an ever-changing world, we have to use our limited resources on the real differentiators. Yeah. So really think, okay, what are the things which are differentiating us from others? yeah, and invest there. And on the other side, look for what's on the market, what's there, what can I use and how can I use it. And that's why I really say, build tech which is unique to you. And this is something we did, and we invest and we have people. Use tech, software as a service, all options where you need flexibility. So I can go and have a software as a service solution, use it for a year, and then get rid of it. No big deal. Yeah, so we did a lot. And so that's why we split this up and say, okay, wherever we need the flexibility, we rather go for a SaaS solution. And buy tech, which is enabling to do the basics. So yes, of course, we still have a SAP system for finance, because with 110 companies, SAP is still the best. Yeah, but it's doing the basics. It's P&L. It's so we are, whenever you go up to the projects, to the product, you are going via software as a service or build as we did with all the ecosystem. Thank you very much. Do we have?
Yeah, thank you, Marcus. This is Magdoum here, and I just could not join the beginning of the session. Just got a couple of minutes delayed because of the other session, and what a presentation it was. I mean, I think you gave us an overview of how we have transformed from 2017 until now, and a lot of value and lessons to take back from your lessons. Thank you very much for the presentation. And just wanted to ask you, I think there are a few questions that I look through the Q&A. Just wanted to ask you, what are the single most challenge when you had to transition from maybe 2010, 12 or the time when the print to digital transition happened? What are the single most challenge? Like, you had listed out so many. So which was on top of your challenge, at that point of time, moving from print to digital, because
yeah.
Because the journey is very similar, in India, so that's where people are trying to grapple to find a right solution.
Yes, right. I would say that the challenge is to take the people with you, to skill and create this environment that change is a good thing. Yeah, so that's the toughest thing, because we are all humans. Nobody likes to change. Yeah, I know where I get my coffee. I know where I have to go to buy my groceries. Yeah, so I don't want to go someplace else. Yeah, and that's exactly what is the most thing. Technology evolved. Technology was made it a lot easier. Now you can just have your credit card and buy something and it works. Yeah. So, but take the people and explain why it's so important. Yeah, that they look into new things and train themselves and change. That is, and obviously also your board. You have to persuade your board that change, is also a good thing, because a lot of times it also involves investments.
Yeah, okay. And may I ask you? I mean, you talked about distributed teams. I think that's a interesting one, from Cape Town to Vietnam. I remember several years back we had a speaker from Ringier, and then who was the manager in your Vietnam operation, talking about some developments that you are doing at the time. So how has that really helped? Talking about the operations in Vietnam. How has it really helped you? I mean, is it still a important part of your IT plan?
Yes, and especially now with what is going on in Europe at the moment, with this war in Ukraine and between Ukraine and Russia, we have a lot of developers there. We don't have any contact at the moment. So for us, it's very important that we also cater to different regions. always was. So, and Vietnam, for example, was always the hub for us for development and for media apps and marketplace apps. And also for the to look at the Asian market a little bit and bring innovations also back. So yes, it's still and it will be again even more important, since situations in Europe or Eastern Europe are not as stable as they were. Yeah, so we definitely have to look how we can split up the operations, but Vietnam at the moment is more the hub for development of the app ecosystem for media and marketplaces.
Okay, yeah. You know, when we launch, or we transform, which comes first? I'm sure there must be the IT comes first, or the business plan comes first. So sometimes the idea is good, but challenge to scale up, then IT has to be. So what comes first? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I think now, if you changed, and if you had to change to climb the step or do the steps and be at the same level, that technology and business talks at the same level, yeah, then very often technology can bring ideas and can say, okay, there is this new cool thing. How can we turn this into a business case? Yeah. So, but you have to have the chance to sit at the table, yeah, and say this. Yeah. So obviously, what we are doing at this project, which I showed you the org structure, is that we do have the idea of selling a new news product. Yes, but it has to have the best technology features, yeah, because otherwise nobody would buy this, yeah. So, and I think now it's hopefully, I would say maybe 50-50 at best, or 60% business, 40% IT, yeah, because there are so many ideas out in the world which you can turn into business and put into your products, yeah. But you have to have the chance to sit at the same table with the managing director and discuss things.
Okay, thank you. I think it's well said. Related to that, and I have other questions. In fact, now we're running a program. We just concluded a program on subscription bootcamp, helping Indian news publishers to get into digital subscription. So one of the issues that we saw was convincing the top management when we have a change of process. So from a waterfall, in fact, which Ringier also raised this point. From waterfall to agile kind of a setup, where top management could lose control. And how do we convince top management to accept, this kind of plans? So any ideas on that?
Mm-hmm. Yes. So I would say on that point, all the subscription business, especially also in Europe, shifted completely because print paper is so expensive that a lot of people cut there to save money, went into free media, and now we have to tell them, okay, this product is worth even paying a little bit of money for that. Yeah, so that's why our subscription models, and you have this in the next days, I saw on your agenda. Yeah, all the subscription models are changing, and therefore technology stack. We cannot only work with subsystem. Yeah, we need to have a layer which is flexible with payment systems, which is flexible for marketing campaigns, and then at the core, finance is very well. Yeah, it's good. Yeah, with such a system. But you also have to have a different technology layer, and therefore yes, we use different technology aspects of this.
Sure, fine. Okay, it is something which your management to agree. I think especially when you move to SaaS system, from different systems. So, how did you convince your C-suite to accept this?
It depends on, for example, because I'm not only heading the publishing IT, but also the operations. So the call center operations, for example, is also in my department. And there we shifted from on-premise a large system to a software as a service solution, which we can, with like 2 people, maintain, change and optimize for this whole call center operation. So it was like a 4 months project to implement this. We use Salesforce. We use all different other components which are there on the market. Yeah, and I think yes, you have to first look at what's the business process you need to solve, and then look how this is implemented. And a lot of things is because on the technology side, I don't need a Salesforce developer at core, or I don't need a Genesys call center system developer at core. I need them maybe 1-2 times a year for specifics, but otherwise I need different skills. I need the process know-how, I need the customizing know-how, and if my call center is cutting half, if my marketing is changing, I can just cancel the software as a service solution, and that's it. Yeah, so that makes a lot, gives us a lot of flexibility. But of course, in choosing this, you have to go a little bit deeper and see, okay, how the process is done with this software service solution and how are the interfaces. That's very important, because you have to connect a lot of different applications.
Thank you very much. I think that's the time we have for now. You know, I mean, I also knew that you spent some time in India helping transformation of some newspapers, way back in before 2005, I understand, around that time. So I'm sure that you take back fond memories from the event. It brings back good memories of the time you had spent helping.
Of course, yeah. So it's good to be back virtually. At least I hope that it will be in person as well. If you have any other questions, contact me via email or over LinkedIn. No problem. Yeah, happy to have the chance to talk to you.